Well, it's interesting that you mentioned the whites. At this morning, I'm taking you to the U.S.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Where the Ghana embassy has been shut down.
Yes.
Following some alleged corruption and corruption-related activities. We understand a gentleman, an IT officer with the embassy, had created some link that redirects applications to his personal tourism agency, if we can put it that way, and has been milking the system. So the Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, has closed down the embassy to allow for investigations into these matters. You can also send us your thoughts, your comments, and contributions. We are very interactive. It's quite an engaging program. So send us your thoughts and your comments via the WhatsApp number. We're live on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on X, and we're on Instagram as well. Let us hear from you. Honorable, I'll start from you. Could we have embarked on these investigations without shutting down the embassy? Because life must still go on. There are persons who will still be seeking visas to travel to Ghana.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I don't know if it's a pink day today, but we'll take it that way. I'm happy to be here with Dogbe. The first thing that comes to mind, forgive me, is that I was hoping to hear from Okudzeto Ablakwa in relation to the airline saga.
There's an airline saga?
Well, I mean, he was the one proffering solutions to Nana Adomako Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, with regards to his need to fly in private jets.
Oh, that.
And in fact, I'm stunned and surprised to hear from my minister, who I love dearly, to rather, as it is, sway us into the happenings in America with regards to the redirecting of, let me say, funds to personal account. So let me just, first of all, say that, one, I am an MPP person, and I personally don't see anything wrong with very high state officials using private means of travel when needed and when necessary in relation to their safety, wellness, and health when needed. But, you know, the way and manner that the current Foreign Affairs Minister spoke about the airline scenario under the leadership of Nana Adomako Akufo-Addo, I really am scandalized at this point in time for not hearing anything from him. And I'm not demanding for his resignation, but I think he needs to come and just tell Ghanaians that he's sorry that his party has done similar. And this is early days yet. I mean, this is, you know, I think the president himself started off with, quote unquote, supposedly his brother's private jet. Fair enough. When Okudzeto was speaking back then, he didn't qualify the source of the private jet. His point was that, you know, we shouldn't be using these means of travel. And that is my whole thing, that I'm hoping that he would address the nation with regards to that. Now, coming back to this issue, let me also add that our foreign affairs management of the Northern American aspect is quite poor. I've personally not been happy, one, with how the New Yorkers manage us. I've not been happy with Washington, D.C. I've had to do visa on arrival for most of the people that visit me because of the unfortunate cumbersomeness of this. And I have somebody visiting me, and I'm even now wondering what's going to happen with regards to you know, the visa processing. So this disruption, I don't think is acceptable administratively. One, you're even putting the already bad state of affairs with regards to the American Ghana embassy. And then now, this disruption will just mess people up. There are many Ghanaians who are now Americans, by virtue of changing their status in America, who would want to come to Ghana this summer, and summer is usually a peak season for travels.
Yeah.
So I think the minister was inconsiderate administratively in taking this decision. I would have hoped that they could have, with some expertise in cybersecurity, with some expertise in internet banking, redirected this at the back end without necessarily closing down the embassy. And sometimes it takes a drastic reshuffle of the people. Interestingly, the embassy has had issues. I remember there was somebody who contracted with the embassy and took away a lot of money, about a decade ago, and the case has been in court for the life.
What is the nature of contract?
I think he was the one issuing the visas, something like that in Washington D.C. And it turned out that when he issues that, he gives the state a certain portion, and that was one of the interesting conundrums there. But be it as it may, I think that on a personal note, the idea of even collecting people's American passports before you issue visas, we should do away with that. People do not trust our embassy, unfortunately, well enough to even, give them their American passport, because sometimes when you even call, a whole embassy, the response, sometimes people have to call the embassy so many times before they can get through. And that is not very acceptable for a country that we want to, uplift tourism, a country that we want to, expand our economy using tourists, coming in and leaving. So I think, and forgive me, Okudzeto Ablakwa, I really think that administratively this is an unfortunate setback, and I think that a lot of this could have been done at the back end. And I'm hoping that this is not to distract us from the airline issue that we were hoping to hear from him about. And I still think that I want to use this medium to encourage Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa, who's a friend and a former colleague, to come out in the open and let us know, one, the airline issue, what's his stand on it, and that we are not calling for his resignation. I'm not calling for his resignation. But I just think that he should come and open up to Ghanaians and say that, when I was talking out of youthful exuberance, okay? And I didn't know that there'll be exogenous circumstances that would require my vice president or a high official within the ranks of the Mahama administration to ever have to fly a private jet. Fly in a private jet.
Well.
And as they all say, whether she danced, bathed, drank in the private jet, that one is none of our issues. But all of those things, all of those variables can happen in a private jet. So I think that...
the defense minister has spoken and given us a brief on the state of Ghana's own jet. The presidential...
The current defense minister.
Yes.
So we should take his word as opposed to last administration's defense minister, who also spoke and said that at the time when the president of the republic, not the vice president, let me be clear here, the president of the republic's safety was a reason why they had to put aside Ghana's Air Force One and do a private jet. Our defense minister also spoke. I remember, he was the one who explained why the president, the president had to use a private jet. So if it was not acceptable by Okudzeto Ablakwa then, is it acceptable now? Because both positions are the same. Both are defense ministers. And it's not like during the NPP administration, our defense minister didn't talk. He spoke. But it fell on deaf ears. No. So what has changed? I'm demanding, and listen, even my own party may not be happy with me saying that I'm not calling for his resignation, but I'm calling for him to come out and tell Ghanaians that he's sorry, or respectfully tell the Adomako Akufo-Addo that, you know what, Adodi, I think I'm taking a humble pie.
Very well.
And I'm sorry for lambasting you for flying on a private jet when it was necessary. And listen, let's be a bit, you know, I always say that some things are not luxury when you are in a certain position, you know. If I can explain to Ghanaians some of our needs during the prosecution of Ghanaian, things that are Ghanaian. I mean, it reminds me of this young man who's now in Parliament and was screaming about sirens, and now that he's in Parliament, what's his name? He's A+.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, he was screaming about, sirens and why do members of Parliament need it. It took him a week in Parliament to realize that you are needed at 4 programs, not your making, but people who depend on you, rely on you, think that your passing through will make them happy and will make the event, very good. And for that matter, he's in Awutu Senya-ish. Between there, Aguna, yes. Yeah. Between there, Swedro area and Accra. A meeting here and there. Same day. My goodness. If you don't have a motorcade plus the siren,
very well,
it's going to be difficult. So I want to plead with Ghanaians that, one, we need to be a bit realistic. I mean, listen, a whole president of this entire country needing to fly out under some circumstances based on the number of countries he may have to go to and the liberty he needs to be able to attend. And may I add that I was in India last year. The time difference, Maza, if you are the youngest guy, you may sleep because the time difference can work you, jet lag.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So you might be in India where they are ahead of us. So when it's 1 midnight, it's like 6 a.m. there, and you arrive there, and your body clock is you're supposed to be naturally sleeping, and you're in a meeting at 8 a.m. in India, and it's like 2 a.m. in Ghana. I mean, listen, these are the true circumstances sometimes our leaders find themselves in. So they might be seated, yes, in a 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. meeting, but Charlie, Ghana time is like 2 a.m. Naturally, your body has not even adjusted. And then you leave from there and you're in maybe Doha in about 6 hours where they are behind. And it's a whole complicated thing. So some of these things, our editors in this country or our media need to be a bit realistic instead of accusing people of all kinds of things.
Well, that's it. Let me bring you in. Since you are an editor.
That's the most scribbled.